They came from the President, Bola Tinubu. They came from the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, from state governors and others. Messages of goodwill during the Eid al-Kabir celebrations as Muslims marked the occasion. That's our focus on Special Report.
The celebration of Eid al-Kabir was worldwide after Muslim pilgrims converged on the Mount Arafat in Saudi Arabia.
Allahu Akbar,
Allahu Akbar,
Allahu Akbar,
Allahu Akbar,
Allahu Akbar.
Most Muslims attend the special 2 rakat prayers held at major mosques throughout the world, wearing new clothes, and some even exchange gifts. The Feast of Sacrifice originates from the historic event when Prophet Ibrahim was commanded in a dream to sacrifice his son Ishmael. While he was in the act of sacrificing his son, God provided a huge ram in his stead.
أسعد الله أيامكم وبارك أعيادكم وأدام أفراحكم فالعيد أنس وبهجة وتعاطف
This event is a pivotal one, demonstrating faith and submission. The holiday's origins are firmly rooted in the story of Abraham's devotion.
ملبين من كل فج عميق تدعون ربا كإسلام إن مناسك الحج.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu urged Muslims to celebrate Eid al-Kabir with the vulnerable and pray for the peace of the country. He made the comment after the Eid al-Kabir prayer at Dodon Barracks in Ikoyi, Lagos. He said Nigerians must continue to pray for the troops who are on the battlefield fighting terrorism. He also said it's important that the citizens imbibe the culture of caring for one another and making sacrifices for the growth of the country.
As we make sacrifices, we should remember to pray and give to those who are very vulnerable. In the spirit of peace, must come together, be one another's brother's keeper, give your neighbors, love everyone equally. We must pray hard for our troops who are keeping us safe, making the sacrifices in the challenges that we face in terrorism and banditry today. We must pray for them specifically, and we must remember their sacrifices and continue to be of good behavior.
Some dignitaries who visited President Bola Tinubu at his residence in Ikoyi encouraged Nigerians to live in peace and harmony and also support the initiatives of the federal government. One of those who visited the president is the Plateau State Governor, Caleb Mutwang, who says Nigerians must live as one nation in order to experience growth across all sectors.
Moments and occasions like this are moments when we use it to be able to preach about the need for unity in our country. We must rise above the divides of faith, the divides of ethnicity, and be able to galvanize ourselves as one nation. That is the only way we can develop.
The Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Kadri Hamzat, says division must be brought to an end in the country in spite of religious differences. He also said citizens should speak of the positive developments in Nigeria that will attract more growth, and also appeal to political leaders to avoid the spirit of negativity and work towards building a better country.
All of us must understand that the essence of Eid Kabir is for us to sacrifice, compassion, love, and loyalty. So I think it's important that all of us, we show loyalty to our country, we show love to our neighbors, and we show compassion to the needy. And that's the basic essence. It's not like they said during the Eid that Almighty Allah doesn't need the blood or the meat. He needs our mind. So we must make sure that we do the right things for our brothers and sisters. So we cannot kidnap our brothers and sisters. We are not doing the right thing. We can't do terrorism by destroying the life of other Nigerians. So we must show that loyalty, peace of mind, so that Almighty Allah can answer all our prayers. And it's to make sure that life of Nigerians are easy. We protect the sovereignty of our country, and to make sure that Nigerians live in peace. And so all of us must work together, whether you are a Muslim, whether you are a Christian, whether you are Hausa, you are Igbo, Yoruba, whatever you are. We should stop division. We should stop division and the noise. A lot of our political class are too negative minded. Let us be positive. The positive things that are happening in our country, we should encourage it. The negative things, we must talk about it, but we must minimize it so that at least our citizens can take all the positive components and build on it. There is no nation that doesn't go through problems, but good people will come together to resolve those issues. But we shouldn't kill ourselves. We shouldn't fight over everything. We should sit down together and talk to ourselves as political class. God has given us a responsibility, and we must use those responsibilities well, not to divide our people, but to unite.
For the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Abubakar, the issue of insecurity is being tackled, and the federal government will continue to support the military and put all necessary measures in place to keep the country safe.
I'm sure if you are following up with what is happening around the country, you will believe me that things are improving. I can give you numerous examples. For instance, Abuja, Kaduna, that used to be death trap, is now really cleared. People travel at all times, safe and sound. The same thing with Birnin-Gwari. When you come to Lokoja, Abuja also, and many roads that we fly. You hardly hear of kidnap and banditry around those roads now. And markets have been opening in both Kaduna, Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina. Of course, there are some insecurity, but you have to look, contextualize it. Where we come from to what is it now. And they will tell you that it has improved tremendously. And I have seen a lot of programs from you. From you journalists going around those places and really talking to people, and people have been confirming to them that security has improved tremendously.
Well, the issue of insecurity, like you know, is not something that started today. It's not something that began with this president. It's been a recurring decimal over the last 2 decades or more. And so solutions cannot come overnight, but we continue to consult with the president and proffer our own ideas on how solutions can be brought to the security challenge in the country. It's every day that you keep reviewing the situation and look at how to be able to deploy both kinetic and non-kinetic solutions. And so we continue to have the conversation around the issues of security. It's a dynamic thing, and you continue to understand the changing dynamics and how to be able to address them adequately.
The chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, says the policies of President Bola Tinubu in the area of tax, subsidy removal, currency deregulation will begin to benefit Nigerians soon, and the country will be better for it.
I think the next 2 years will actually be extremely very good. It will be much better than the first 2 years. You know, once, you take over government, it takes time for you to settle down. It takes time for you to do quite a lot of things. But if you look at all the policies that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu introduced, they will start yielding fruits as we go along. You know, the subsidy removal, the currency deregulation, and also the gas policy. There are so many policies that they have rolled over, including the tax policy, which was just signed. We will be yielding fruits, but I know that people are very much in a hurry, but I'm sure it will, the time will come where all of us will now have a much better, society. What we need really is to have people with real disposable incomes, and that one will be led by the private sector, supported by the government. Once people have what you call a lively, decent salary, then things will change. Nobody will go and participate in either Boko Haram, kidnapping, banditry, or whatever.
Nigerian businessman and the chairman of Bua Group, Abdul Samad Rabiu, appeals to Nigerians to be patient with President Tinubu because the new reforms being put in place will need time before it begins to yield the necessary results.
As we gathered, in prayers, we asked for Allah's blessings, not only for ourselves, for our families, but for Nigeria. And as we all know,
this is a time to reflect, and we prayed for peace, unity, and prosperity for Nigeria. As for the economy that you asked, of course, when His Excellency, came on board a couple of years ago, the country was faced with, deeply entrenched economic challenges. And a lot of the issues, we now know them. And His Excellency took a very bold, decisive, and necessary reforms, including the unification of the foreign exchange, regime, the removal of the fuel subsidy, and naturally with reforms, they come with, discomfort, at the early stages. But His Excellency was, had to do that, and we are now starting to witness, the positive results of those actions, and we all need to make sacrifices. And I'm glad that His Excellency has taken some of those decisions, and we have now started seeing, as I said, the positive results. Food prices are coming down, the exchange rate, is getting better. Just a few days ago, the rate of the dollar has come down to about 1,550 naira. At one time, it was almost 1,900 naira. So we need to be patient. Things will get better, and we must also recognize that the savings, the national savings, are being reinvested into areas that matter: roads, healthcare, education, infrastructure, and so many other things. And just yesterday, we witnessed His Excellency commission, a lot of projects and flagged off quite a few new projects. And last weekend, he also commissioned, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. We know that the Sokoto-Badagry is gaining traction. And then, of course, the Kano Congolom, which BUA is undertaking under the tax credit scheme, has also joined that league. We are spending over 400 to 500 billion naira, towards those. So the savings that we are, seeing, are being channeled. His Excellency is channeling a lot of, that money towards this important area. So again, let me say that this is a collective effort. As Nigerians, we must all come together and support His Excellency, because, Nigeria belongs to all of us. And the prosperity that we aspire and that we need, we must work all together. All of us must work together for us to achieve that prosperity. So, as I've always said, it is very, very important that we come together and support the government, because government cannot do it alone. So we thank His Excellency for giving us the opportunity. And as I've always maintained, this is a collective journey. His Excellency cannot do it alone. So we really need to be there, as Nigerians, so that in, the times that we need to support, we support Nigeria. We need to come all together and do what we need to do as Nigerians. So because if we have an issue, we rise, we act, and we build. So, I think, it was a good meeting, it was a good outing, and I want to use this opportunity once again to thank His Excellency, for everything that he's doing.
For those at the internally displaced persons camp at Durumi, the celebration was with mixed feelings. It was a quiet atmosphere in the camp as he appealed to the government to address the recent surge of insecurity in the country.
My appeal to the government: we are not happy being here, we are not happy being called IDP, but we don't have choice, we find ourselves in it. But we, especially we are from Northeast, we based on farming in Northeast. Our prayer for government to remove us from this place until they locate us part of Nasara where we can get access to farming, free life living, because life is hard here in Abuja.
It's supposed to be a day of joy, but as God has ordained it, it happens and it has happened.
It's very, very unfortunate because losing your family is not easy, sir. And the situation, well, the government is trying with us, but that's Salah, we are just going to do it just like that.
The Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, joined the military community to celebrate the Chief of Army Staff's special Salah lunch hosted by the Commander, JTF Southeast Operations, Udoka, at the 302 Artillery Regiment, Onitsha. The Chief of Army Staff, represented by Major General Adewale Adekeye, hailed the success of the Operation Udoka and encouraged the team to do more, as the efforts will not be forgotten.
Working together with constituted civilian authorities to ensure that peace and harmony is maintained while we uphold law and order. The Chief of Army Staff, in his wisdom, has initiated the Soldier Force policy, not just as a guiding principle, but a fact that will underscore our commitment to the welfare and the well-being of all personnel. I must say that I am proud to see how all of you have today come out to show that you embody that spirit that puts all other citizens ahead of themselves, working tirelessly to ensure that peace and security of our great nation is maintained, especially within the Joint Task Force area of responsibility of Operation Udoka. Let me take this opportunity to express my deepest appreciation to the outstanding efforts of the troops of this operation. Your bravery, your resilience, your dedication to duty have not gone unnoticed.
While Governor Chukwuma Soludo appreciated the commitment of the gallant officers who work to keep the country safe.
I want to appreciate all our armed forces, all those of you who work very hard. I get the reports. I get what is happening in where we call Ebonesie in Ihiala, be it in Mbosi, be it in Iseke, be it in Lilu, and now the Mother Valley. I think they have been feeling the heat. Thanks immensely also to the gallant forces as well as the Air Force. I think they are feeling the heat. They are now on the run. The other battles, the other lines of battles being defined. And I want to pray that in no distant time, all those of them who are loitering in other camps still around here, that their days will be numbered. And we want to believe that indeed their days are numbered. Thanks again to our gallant forces who are struggling every day to make us safe. I can't mind a simply appreciation. Appreciation and felicitation, solidarity. Solidarity with you on this Salah moment. And to use this opportunity as well to extend our felicitations to all our Muslim brothers and sisters around the country, and as well as all Nigerians. I listened carefully to the speech by the representative of the Chief of Army Staff and talking about this moment of purification. May this moment of this Salah period and always be used as a point of contact for general purification of the land. For general purification of the land. That the criminals in the bushes who have made criminality a source of livelihood, they are thriving because it's a lucrative, the criminality is very lucrative. And that's why they persist.
For commercial drivers during the holidays, many complain of low patronage. Several motor parks in Abuja devoid of the usual holiday spirit, despite a reduction in transportation prices to some destinations.
People, they get the money, you will see them rush Benin, Kevi, Sokoto, Katsina, and our neighboring country, Niger Republic. You will see them with a lot of the luggage, they will take them to their mother and grandmother and their children and their wife. But this Salah, there is no money for the people. Last year, I make about 4 trucks to go and come back, to carry and go back, to come and back. But this Salah, I will do only 2 trucks.
Suppose you come here day before yesterday, the place was crowded because of people traveled. In fact, the road was something else. I hear you asking about if passengers complain about the fare. Yes, they did. Because we added 1,000 from me as shorting from Kaduna, from Abuja to Kaduna to Abuja, and we added 1,000, which is 13,000. It used to be 9,000, we make 10,000. They complained. We tell them that I can see the situation. In fact, there was no vehicle. Yesterday and day before yesterday, there was no vehicle on the ground.
How about the safety of the road?
Well, it's okay, no problem.
The situation is the same at the Idu train station. The passengers were less in number than the previous day.
If these times can be used as a rallying call for words and action that benefit the leaders and the led, then it will be time well spent that goes down well for posterity. For Special Report, I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for watching.